Okay. Uh, this video is about Ghosts of Tsushima, the latest overhyped Sony exclusive turd. Uh, the latest one Sony fanboys are all a Twitter and a giggle about, as they always are, of anything that doesn't play on Xbox. It's like I told somebody on Twitter, he was all, "Oh man, this looks so great," and I was like, "Dude, if it was on Xbox, no one would care." That's true of all the Sony exclusives. Or if it was on Xbox too. I mean, it could be on PlayStation and Xbox. Nobody would be hyping it like this. In this particular case, I haven't paid much attention to this game. I know they showed some graphics that looked kind of okay, kind of pretty good, but they also looked weirdly fake to me. And they also looked kind of like linear, it's supposed to be open world. Then they showed some sort of trailer today. I could care less about this game at all. So I didn't really pay attention, but I watched a little bit. And what I watched, it looked terrible. The graphics looked terrible. Nothing up to the original trailers that they had. You can see this. Now, granted, this picture is biased. Look, I'm a troll, but I can be honest about things as well sometimes. The stream quality was pretty bad and whatnot. And anytime you take a screen cap of a bad stream and compare it to like a direct feed, it's going to look rough. But that said, I do think there was a definite downgrade, or just that they showed more of the game now. And it just looked very ordinary. I mean, I only literally watched probably like 20 seconds of it. But I saw something, it does kind of look like an Assassin's Creed or something. It just looks very ordinary. And really, if you want to be sure about that, just go look on Reset Era, which is like Sony fanboy headquarters. And they had a thread over it, and granted, and a lot of them weren't liking it. So if like Sony fanboy headquarters, where they go, they're excited about everything that's Sony exclusive. They hype it up, and they hype it up, and they hype it up. If they're, kind of like, well, this looks okay. I saw like every third comment on Reset Era on the thread of this was kind of negative. And that's unheard of for Sony exclusives. So it's like if they think it's bad, then it must be really bad. Look at this still. I mean, it looks awful. I think this is the official Sony video. It just looks like people are calling it an Assassin's Creed clone, which I totally agree with. So yeah, it looks like another overhyped flop now. It's been revealed as pretty much of a flop. I mean, look, he's even on a boat, just like Assassin's Creed. Graphics are nothing special, to say the least, after all this hype about how great they were going to be. So it looks like another flop from Sony. And somebody on Reset Era made this comment too, and I totally agree. Is that like Sony's made 3 flop open world games in a row. They made Death Stranding, that was flop. They made Days Gone, that was a flop. And they make now Ghost of Tsushima looks like a flop. And he was like, Sony just needs to quit doing open world games. And I agree, because here's the thing, they don't have the money. This goes into my whole rant about how third parties are really the far more popular games, and nobody talks about this because they're always trying to push this narrative that the exclusives are what matter and Sony has the good exclusives. But if you look at the sales, I've done tons of videos on this. If you look at like the top 10 NPD sales any year, you might have a Sony exclusive or a Microsoft exclusive if it's like a Halo game came out or something that year. Like Halo Infinite will probably place in the top 10. But you can look, the NPD posts, they don't give you the numbers, but they give you the ranking for like the rolling past 12 months, like say, May? So they would, through like April of or May of last year, and they give you a lot of times for the whole calendar year, they'll give you the top 10 selling. Now, granted, this would be USA only, but that's and it's the same in Europe. You get top sellers of the year in Europe too, and it's the same. Basically, my point is always like the top games are always Call of Duty, Madden, NBA 2K, FIFA. GTA or Red Dead Redemption, and both of them actually this past year. Assassin's Creed. You know, that's like 7 right there. That's 7 out of the top 10. And there'll be some other ones like The Division might make it. Or whatever. There'll be all these Ubisoft, occasionally Rockstar, these perennial sports franchises like FIFA. My point has always been that's what people are really playing. They're really playing FIFA, NBA 2K. Like if you added up how many hours they're playing, that's what people are playing. Like much more than these Sony exclusives. And you can get those on Xbox, but nobody wants to hear that narrative. You know, they're much less hype, but they're much more played. They sell much more. I'll tell you another thing. You know, some guy on Air was trying to make Sony seem cool, and he put out a thread about how Sony has gone from like 110 million seller to 5 to 7 within one generation. It was something about, I don't know his numbers, I don't know if I trust his numbers, whatever. I didn't even look at the thread. But I know he was trying to say like the last gen, PS3 gen, Sony only had 110 million seller. Apparently, I don't even know what that would be. Probably one of the Uncharted games. And I don't know where he would source that it. You know, I don't know where his source would be because worldwide sales numbers are hard to come by. Maybe he only took the ones that Sony did PR for. Or maybe since it was maybe Sony only did PR for one game in that gen and that sold over 10 million in the PS3 gen. But whatever the case, and then he said like now they have 5 to 7. We try to make it like, oh my gosh, never mind that PS4 sold way more than PS3 and etc. But you know, he was trying to make it like, oh, look at this juggernaut Sony. They're going from 110 million seller to 5 to 7 in one generation. And then I saw a quiet little thing like a couple of days later, or like yesterday, Ubisoft was bragging about how they had 11 10 million sellers. I don't remember what they all were. It was like Division 2, Assassin's Creed Unity, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, you know, a bunch of Assassin's Creed, or 11 10 million sellers this gen. So I thought that was pretty funny that they doubled. Ubisoft has twice as many 10 million sellers as Sony. So I thought that was pretty funny since that guy tried to make that thread bragging about how many 10 million sellers Sony has. Like a day later, Ubisoft came out and said, oh, we have twice as many. And that's just Ubisoft. Forget Activision. All the Call of Duties are going to sell bazillions. You know. So if you did like a top selling games of the gen, I don't even know if a Sony exclusive would make the top 20. I can't think of one. Maybe The Last of Us. But remember, you'd have like 7 Call of Duty games in the top 20. However many years of the gen, each year's Call of Duty game would be in there. So you'd have like 7 spots taken by all the Call of Duties. You'd have like 4 or 5 more taken by however many Assassin's Creed. You'd have several more taken by Maddens. I don't know if Madden makes it every single year. Definitely NBA 2K now is really popular. They'd be in there. You know, you have like 7 years of NBA 2K. You know, that's 14, and then with Madden, you'd have nothing. You know, you'd have Red Dead Redemption in there, and probably GTA 5 also. So my point is always that like Sony exclusives are overrated. They're not what people really play. They're not. You know. This is just going to be another one. I don't think this is going to sell that well. The hype doesn't seem that high, even for a Sony exclusive. You know, I think it's going to come and go. Last of Us 2, I'll give you. It'll be a pretty big title. This one, nah. I think it's going to fall by the wayside, like so many other Sony games have that were hyped up, like Resistance. You know, when was the last time a Resistance game was made? Those things were hyped so much. You know, like Journey, like Little Big Planet, like. You know, all these games, they were hyped so much, and then they're dead now. They're dead franchise. Drive Club, you know, is there going to be a new Drive Club? I doubt it. You know, all these franchises are dead that used to be so hyped. Ghost of Tsushima will probably be another one. So that's my video. Oh yeah, my point is, like, if you're a Ubisoft or a, you know, what is it, CDPR makes games. Now you can sell. CDPR is making a game they can sell, like a Witcher or a what the hell is that game? Cyberpunk. That they can sell across 3 platforms minimum. They can sell it on Xbox, they can sell it on PlayStation, they can sell it on PC. So they have just like 3 times the money to spend, to be honest. So you get a game like Cyberpunk that's going to have production values that are off the freaking charts, It's going to have a gigantic... Man, Sony could never make a game like Cyberpunk. They couldn't do it. They don't have the resources. They don't have the money. You can't... When you're only selling to PlayStation owners, you can't justify that kind of investment, you know, that you can when you're selling to everybody, you know, Xbox, PlayStation, PC. I would say Switch, but I mean, I know they made a Witcher port of Switch, a Switch port of Witcher, what, Switcher Witcher. It's easy to get those confused. I know they made a Switch port of Witcher, so you can even count that. They can even amortize, you know, some expense there. I don't think they're going to make a Switch port of Cyberpunk. It seems too ambitious even for that. But you get my point. You know, they have so much money to spend. That's why Cyberpunk looks so cool. And, you know, they can spend, like, so much time and money on it. And it's just going to be an experience you're not going to be able to get anywhere else, you know. Sony can't do that. They've got to make something with a reasonable cost, like Ghosts of Tsushima. Probably, you know, like, it's probably like 1/5 how much money was spent on Cyberpunk, and how much man hours is the real measure, in my opinion. Which is like, you know, 100 men working 10 hours each is what, 1,000 man hours. And of course, it's many millions of man hours for big games. It's basically a pseudonym for money, you know. You gotta pay all those people. Cyberpunk is probably, you know, has 5 at least times the man hours, the effort is something like Ghost. Probably since Cyberpunk has been in development longer, it's probably more like 10 times. So of course you're getting a game that's like 10 times deeper. So yeah, that's just my point. Like, Ghost of Tsushima looks rough. I don't even care. I wouldn't buy it. I'm having fun with some games right now, though. I'm having fun with about 3. I'm playing Jedi Fallen Order on Xbox One X. I'm not a big gamer outside of Destiny. I played like 5,000 hours of Destiny the last couple of years. Or since Destiny 1 came out, which is what, 6 years? Wow, time flies. Wow. I just realized that came out in 2014. The graphics were still pretty good back then. They're still good now. Anyways, yeah. Destiny, other than Destiny, I've never really been the hugest gamer in my life. I follow along for the fanboy stuff, the business side, being an Xbox fanboy or whatever company, because Xbox doesn't, you know, and like, I was into Street Fighter when I was younger, a lot, Street Fighter 2. But, you know, for the most part, I actually don't play games that much, and never have. I mean, but I keep up constantly. But anyway, so the point is that right now I'm playing Jedi Fallen Order, which I've had for months. But I'm enjoying it. I get into these lulls where I stop playing. Like right now, I haven't played in weeks, but I mean to get back into it. I am enjoying it, honestly. It's one of the best single-player games I've played in a long time. Ever since I started playing Destiny, I've had a really hard time getting in finishing any single-player games, because it's hard to compete with that multiplayer online, you know, addiction, you know? Like somebody playing World of Warcraft trying to go back to single-player games. It's tough, you know? But I'm enjoying, you know, I've only played like 2 or 3 since I got into Destiny. Like Gears of War 5 was one, or finished. And Halo 5 was one. And I didn't really enjoy any of them that much. But I think I beat Titanfall 2. I didn't really enjoy that. It sounds fun now, though, with the big old mechs. But at the time, I distinctly remember being really, really bored of it. Yeah, so Jedi Fallen Order, though, I'm really actually enjoying, and it's probably the best single-player game I've played since Destiny. I just got a little, it's kind of hard to come back to because you forget everything you were working on, and you know what I mean? You kind of forget where everything was, and because it's like this big multi-planet world. But yeah, I'm going to get back to that because it really was enjoyable, and then I got, then Red Dead Redemption 2 came out on Game Pass. I got free Game Pass till... Man, how time flies. At the time, I got it for about 2 years, and it's already only like a year left because it ends in August 2021. I got the $1 free Game Pass deal. I only did it for 2 years instead of 3. At the time, it was like 2 years and 2 months or something. 2 years, 3 months. It's already down to like a year and a couple months. But anyways, the point is, I got free Game Pass, and Red Dead 2 came up on it, and I was kind of always thinking about buying that, but I never did. So once it came to Game Pass and it's free, I'm like, heck, I'm going to try it. And so I started playing a little of that the other day. And then Streets of Rage 4, also free on Game Pass. but I might have bought it anyway. So and I played like I beat the first level. So I got like 3 games going on right now, but I'm not playing too much of any of them because I'm usually like busy. But anyways, yeah. So that's it. Just to talk about, yeah, another reason why I wouldn't be interested in this, because generic open world game is like the last thing I'd be interested in right now. With all these other fun games to play, Jedi Fallen Order, Streets of Rage 4. And Red Dead 2, all multi-platform, all notes. So yeah, that's it. Oh, and I could go into PS5 here, but I guess I'll just make this video about Ghost of Tsushima. Just to touch on PS5 real quick, it's the same crap. Like, people are trying to act like it's more power. Now well, I should make a separate video for that topic, so I will. So yeah, have a good one.